We're back, baby. It's
Baby!
We're back.
Baby! That's all we're doing today with the podcast.
Yeah, we're just gonna say baby. We are back. Bing bong. We made it. Sure, Be Grand is back. Another episode. We didn't go away for long this time. Just the regular 2 weeks from our. I needed time to recover from watching Star Trek and having an inner conflict within my soul about liking Star Trek now, kind of.
You
But
do,
I'm back.
don't you? You're like a casual enjoyer of it.
I'm sure. Yeah. One of those things. We're
Sure.
but this week we've so much news to get through at the top though. I'm Owen, by the way, and Dan is the other person here speaking in your ears.
I am.
Yeah. And together we are Sure It'll Be Grand, a podcast.
It surely will.
Yeah. And we're Jesus man, there's a lot going on today in the world of everything. I'll tell you what the biggest news story of the week is.
Go on.
The Wheel of Time is the #1 most streamed TV show in the world for the last 2 weeks consecutively.
Yeah, it is.
Suck on that, bitches.
I feel like the bitches are probably enjoying it. Hence
all,
it being like that.
all you doubters out there. I know everyone that messaged me, man, what the fuck is the Wheel of Time? Why do you keep talking about it so much on your fucking stupid little podcast? Well, now you know. It's
you
here.
know, you say that, but I still know people have no idea what the Wheel of Time is.
No, yeah, I mean a lot of people still don't know what it is, but I've converted several friends into at least watching the TV show and a couple more reading the books. So that's a win for me in the own column. A win for both of us, and this dropped.
Genuinely. Well, the first one is a win as well. I like the Wheel of Time. I read like 6 books of it, man.
Yeah, but come on, give
I
me.
just didn't finish it yet.
It's mine, all right. It's mine.
Okay, fair enough.
But what is a win for the two of us and for everybody out there? And this literally dropped about an hour ago. Cobra Kai season 4 full trailer.
It is.
Holy shitballs, mom! I mean,
that dude still has the air of a villain so perfectly down.
Silver, yeah. I mean,
yeah. Also, the weird thing is he's younger than Jesus Christ, my brain's gone. But he's younger than the main guy. Again, what's his name? See, this is the thing. I just turn things off.
Daniel.
Daniel. How did I not remember Daniel? Anyway, but he's younger than the actor. The actors are younger than the other one. So weird, isn't it?
Is he?
Yeah.
He does not look it at all.
No, he does not. No. I think I just chose Daniel because he was a small person in general.
Are you
he's not
sure?
a big. Yes, because I also listened to one of my podcasts today, and they mentioned that, and I went, "Wow, that's strange."
Wasn't Silver like a fully grown adult man in the?
Looked like it, but Daniel also
Daniel
was technically an adult.
A 14-year-old child still.
Yeah, but the actor was technically an adult, so I guess it's
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Damn, that's wild. Great trailer though. I'm super pumped.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
I really haven't.
Yeah, it's got. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Seems like this is probably going to be the season and the finale for the show, I think.
No, they've already said. Didn't Netflix already say they're doing another like 2 seasons or something?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. It looked like it,
Or maybe Netflix said they were doing 2 more seasons when Netflix picked it up, which was 2 seasons ago.
It could be. Yeah.
I have no idea. I feel like there's more. They're not going to end it now just as it's hitting peak popularity.
They're really running out of like previous movie villains. So
They got a bunch more. They'll do some shit from the like animated.
Just bring
show.
the 3 little samurai villains in. Why the fuck not? It's the same. It's fighty fight.
It's called 3 Little
And Jackie
Ninjas.
Chan. Oh no! Imagine they brought in Jackie Chan.
We talked about this before. Yeah, we love to see a Jackie Chan cameo just for no reason.
Yeah.
Got nothing to do with Karate Kid.
No, have Jackie come in, but it's actually from the Jackie Chan Adventures. So he's like trying to find the talisman in the town, and they're always trying to hide that the magic thing exists because it's obviously not a magical world.
But then it is suddenly.
No. It's like when you have like magical people going into very like normal shows, like Riverdale and stuff like that. I guess I haven't watched Riverdale, so maybe they do show magic in Riverdale. But like see, we're in Teenage Witch is in the same universe.
Yep,
so
she's
like
in
you
Riverdale.
Hint at it, but does she do magic?
Yeah.
And do they see her doing magic?
Yeah. There's
like
the current plot
world?
line. The current plot line. The town banded together and made Archie a ritual sacrifice so that the town
What
could
the
be like
fuck is
healthy
this
again.
fucking
They,
show
like,
about?
Pinned him to a thing and did a big ritual, and Cheryl Blossom cut his heart out of his chest, and somebody ate it or something, I think. And now Sabrina's
Look,
like,
I don't even
"Yo,
know if you're joking or not.
I'm
Is this real
genuinely
or
not.
not?
No, that's what happened."
Okay, all
That's
right.
the first episode of season 6. And now Sabrina's rocking up being like, "Yo, I heard there's a fucking spooky ghost witch thing torturing your children, Cheryl Blossom." Because that's happening also right now, because I guess
Okay.
the ritual brought back. Anyway, that's Riverdale, yeah. Let's hope Cobra Kai
the
doesn't go
fuck?
let's hope Cobra Kai doesn't go in the direction of fucking Riverdale. 'Cause
Yeah.
that would be not good. Well, no, it wouldn't be good. I can't even pretend what would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said there was a lot of news. That's kind of it, really, isn't it?
I mean, I'm sure there's been other
That was
devastating
probably-
news and stuff happening in the world that we've forgotten about, but you know.
I mean, yeah, but like, important news is what I'm talking about. Like actual
Yeah.
news that means things.
What have you been up to for the week, Owen?
I've been fucking doing nothing. Sitting at home. I am housebound.
The old
Not to
Covey
any intention of
Cove.
mine. I have to stay. Yeah, my housemate got COVID, and now I have to stay at home forever. Hopefully, I never have to. No, that's a lie. It's been like 3 days, and I'm already gone insane.
Yeah. Oh no. Like I used to be one of those guys that was like, yeah, I go to the first man mission in Mars, even if there weren't many people. And now after COVID, like, oh, I can't. I can't do this.
Yeah,
know?
it's not ideal right now, but it's okay. I'll get over it.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
than that, Disney has removed the Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas erotic thriller Deep Water from their upcoming slated release schedule. There's news just in, hot off
Wow.
the press. Literally
Yeah.
news that was announced in the last 35 minutes. So don't say we're never on the button. We have our finger on the pulse of important news
Until we
stories.
release this in a week by accident.
Well, yeah, but we're trying. Okay. No, what are we here for? Why are we here this week?
We are doing a fan favorite one where you stick to a character and won't budge, and I get furious with you, and I'm very grumpy a lot of the times. But I think I'm going to change it up for this one because we're
not
doing splitting hairs.
Splitting hairs, do 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 do. Splitting hairs.
Okay, Causey, press stop on that. No, you weren't meant to press the
do-do-do-do-do.
button for the song there.
Oh, sorry,
there
shit.
we
No,
go.
I'll edit it out afterwards.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's nearly finished. It's nearly.
Yeah, it's
nearly there.
Yeah, I like the guitar bit you put in there. You know.
Yeah, I just taught. I don't play guitar. I just taught myself that.
Yeah.
Just
Actually, that's an
record.
interesting thing. I can't even remember the name, but like people go, they do it with the mouth, like
Yes.
that's a genuine traditional form of like making music in Ireland. It's hasn't. I didn't know it was actually a proper name thing. I thought it was just lads getting a bit drunk and trying to keep the rhythm going,
Well, it's not. It's more than just like somebody in a pub going diddly diddly do. There's a technique and stuff involved.
Yeah, no, but it's not that much of a because I was watching a YouTube video on it, and it's not too much of a complicated technique. You just get better at it as you go along. But like just about anyone inherently can learn how to do it fairly quickly. Just they have an inherent understanding of music.
If you have an inherent understanding of music.
No, everyone
Is that what
does.
you do? Oh, everyone does?
No, everyone has. Yeah.
I think everybody has an inherent understanding of music.
I think it's one of the weird cultural things, but yeah, I think there's music in every culture, and I think we understand it from birth. We have songs sang to us. We even hear music in the womb, so I think it's fairly inherent, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't think everybody
Yeah.
can do music though.
No, I mean, obviously there's different, levels of natural talent, but things like that art form seem to be fairly quick to take on for most people.
What a pleasant chat.
Yeah. There's also one of the words for it's called puss.
Music is called puss.
It's one of the terms for it is to puss.
All right.
There you go.
Well, I'm about to put a sour puss on your face any minute now as we do Splitting Hairs. All right, here we go. What are we doing? The two movies. We're doing...
I'm doing Braveheart.
You're doing Braveheart.
It's the most historically accurate movie ever brought to our cinema screens.
Tonight, Matthew, I'll be doing Braveheart. Dan, give us your best William Wallace there. Do you know what the funny thing about what just happened is? I think you were too loud for your microphone.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything. I just saw your mouth open on our video chat, but there's no audio there whatsoever.
Oh, God.
So I let it in an actual, the proper one.
Yeah.
Wow, Dan.
No,
well done.
Just
Very good.
Freedom.
Yeah, very well, excellent. Very good, William Wallace. I'm doing Rob Roy, the other Scottish historical drama.
Do the line, man.
I'm Robert Roy McGregor.
And here's my penis.
It's what he says a lot. Well, it's more. See, that's what my movie is. Why it's so good. It's actually much more show don't tell. Rob Roy.
Oh yeah, because Braveheart's known for its subtlety.
Yeah. Of course it is. Okay, so who do you want to go first? Or should I go first?
No. People know Braveheart, I'd say, fairly well. So you go ahead, and I'll go after you.
Okay, then I shall go first. My movie, the winning pick, the only real, truly incredible and important movie about Scottish
coin toss.
history. All right, Rob Roy was released in 1995. Same year as Braveheart, obviously. That's why we're doing these on Splitting Hairs. That's one of the That's one of the rules that I came up with in my head six months ago or whenever we did the first one. It's a historical biographical drama directed by Michael Caton Jones, who, I'll be quite honest with you, I have never heard of before in my life, but his other movies include Basic Instinct 2, the sequel to Basic Instinct.
Oh yes, the one that they all talk about.
The best Basic Instinct, I think most people would say. And he also did, I don't know, he's like Scandal, and that's kind of, that's about it. But he did this, and that's the only thing that matters. This is his piece de la résistance. This was his number one. Cast, I mean, you talk about a fucking buffed out cast. Listen to this, folks out there at home, and you tell me this isn't amazing. The cast of Rob Roy stars Liam Neeson, all right, Jessica Lange, multiple Academy Award winner Jessica Lange, John Hurt, Dan's personal favorite actor in the whole world. Okay?
Sure.
Tim Roth, who's also great. Okay. Eric Stoltz and Brian Cox, not the idiot, like, conservative TV scientist Brian Cox, not that one, the actor Brian Cox, okay? Music by Carter Burwell, who we all know and love as the person who did the Twilight soundtrack. Yes, that's right, Twilight is back, ladies and gentlemen. We've come full circle. Twilight's good again. And it was produced by United Artists and distributed by MGM Distribution. Came out in 1995, I said that already, but it had a budget of about $28 million, and in the United States, it made back $31.6 million. Its opening weekend, it was the number 2 movie in America, behind, I'll give you a guess. What was the number 1 movie in America? The end of April to 1995.
Wasn't Braveheart?
No, it wasn't Braveheart. No.
All right, never mind.
It was Bad Boys.
Oh, Bad Boys.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Rob Roy McGregor comes for you? Anyway, yeah, that's Rob Roy. It tells the story of Rob Roy McGregor, who was an 18th century Scottish clan chief / outlaw / Robin Hood / figure of much note. And that's Rob Roy. What movie are you doing? Something we've never heard of, probably.
It's a small indie movie. Made by a person who's a bit problematic. By a bit, I mean a lot. Fuck him. But it's Mel Gibson's Braveheart, because there's other Bravehearts called, apparently. I had to distinct it by saying it was from Mel Gibson, apparently. But yes, this is Braveheart. Oh, no, joking aside, very famous movie. Directed by Mel Gibson, who has, done stuff. And written by Randall Wallace. Randall Wallace, you might know from movies like We Were Soldiers, Pearl Harbor, movies that are slightly more historically accurate. I mean, just as historically accurate as Braveheart. Obviously, it's one of the most historically accurate movies. Um, yeah, it has Mel Gibson as the starring role.
Just not to like our history, right? It's like
Man,
an alternate
man,
timeline or something.
what affects us more, the legends of history or the facts that happen in history? Think about that.
Facts
Yeah.
become legends. Legends turn to myth. Even those are long forgotten when the age that birthed them comes back around again.
All right,
yes,
would
that's
you
the
fucking
introduction
get
to the Wheel of Time. Shut the fuck up.
So yeah, we have Mel Gibson as William Wallace, Sophie Marceau as Princess Isabel, Patrick McGoohan as Longshank, King Edward. Just even before I reviewed, he was a really good prick in this. He like the king, like really good prick. Angus McFadden. Is it McFadden or McFadden?
Angus McFadden.
Fadgen, okay. As Robert the Bruce.
I don't know.
James Robinson as young William Wallace. Sean Lawrence as Malcolm Wallace, and a few more Wallaces to come. Our favourite, James Cosmo as Campbell, the strongest, coolest dude on the planet. Also old as fuck, but like apparently he can just fucking fight, even though he has arrows embedded in him. Just a legend, just very neat. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Braveheart at the moment for me. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that, Dan. That's Dan live from the heart of Stormbarra there with his our annual Braveheart coverage. So let's fucking get this started then. Me versus you, 1v1 me in real life. Braveheart versus Rob Roy. We're going to start us off and we're going to talk about the heroes.
This is Robert Roy McGregor.
Sons of Scotland, I am William Wallace.
Okay. Now, Dan, tell me about William Wallace in your movie.
Oh,
in the movie.
Okay, in the movie, which is sometimes myth is more important than facts. William Wallace grew up on a little shitty farm in Scotland when his father was murdered by the murderous English bastards. He was hung, sliced a bit, I believe, and his uncle shows up and says something about heart, and I'll show you how to use a sword, and we're going to pray in not Latin, and you're coming over to France with me for what feels like you only go to France, you're going to be there for 20 years, and then you're going to come back. And apparently that's not what happens. He comes back. He just wants to live a nice, peaceful life. Such a unique trope that I've never heard of before. He just wants to live a peaceful life on a farm, away from everyone, grow a nice family, and he has a bit of fun with a local woman called Merman, something Mermer. Anyway. And they're sneaking out and all this kind of stuff, and they get secretly married at night time because they don't want to be part of a ritual where the local lord, I think the ritual is called prima nocturna, which basically means that the local king or lord can fuck a bride on her first night as right. And they're like that. No, we don't like that. Let's keep it a secret between you and me. We're not going to tell them we're going to fuck. Just. And they go, okay, all right, fair enough. And they do a secret marriage. Then, look, she gets killed by one of the local lords. This pushes Wallace to start a little rebellion there, and frankly the whole thing kind of grows out of proportion, and he invades England up to York and eventually gets betrayed, gets drawn and quartered, shouts freedom when he was actually asking for mercy because he was hallucinating, You know, that's not what happened. Please do not at me. That's not what
That's
happened.
definitely what happened. He was definitely. I mean, he was in a lot of pain. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did
Yeah.
Why did they grant him mercy immediately after he
It's-
supposedly shouted freedom? That's all I'm saying. All right.
A sneak peek at the history section. He gets his testicles cut off as well before he like starts getting like his guts pulled out. He also gets pulled along naked by that. I think at that stage you wouldn't be really conscious anymore. I feel like I'd say, like, no matter how deeply I believe in something, I think at that stage you would just like repeat something someone else is saying because you're completely out of it, wouldn't you? Just mercy.
I tell you what, Dan.
Yeah.
William Wallace might, but you know who wouldn't?
Liam
Robert
Neeson's penis.
Roy McGregor. Okay, let me tell you
Okay.
all about Rob Roy, the fucking king of kings, this hulking behemoth of a
Wait, are
man.
you saying he's Jesus?
I am. Yes, I am. He's a hulking monstrous. He's at least 12 feet tall, right? He is.
No.
he's
Hey,
the.
excuse me. You're stealing fucking plot points from my movie now.
I'm stealing any plot points. I'm telling
No,
you, Liam
William
Neeson
Wallace
is about 12 feet tall.
700 foot tall.
Okay, we
Shoots
can
fucking
hang on
lightning
now.
out his
We can
arse,
both
shoots
play
laser
that
beam
game.
off his eyes,
We can both
okay.
play that game, all right? So, William Wallace is 700 feet tall. Rob Roy is 800 feet tall. Then, okay? No, he's a big man. Okay, Liam Neeson's a big tall.
Yeah, Liam Neeson
chap,
in
all right.
general. Whereas Mel Gibson, teeny weeny.
A teeny weeny. But Liam Neeson's a big man in every sense of the word. Robert Roy McGregor. Yeah, he's a
More thin.
part of the McGregor clan of the Scottish Highlands in the movie. All right. I'll tell you the real story later. But in the movie, he is a cattle rustler, sort of. He both steals people's cows and also protects people's cows in a sort of a I'll steal from them, and then to get them to stop stealing from me, I'll offer to protect their cows kind of thing. He's very smart, Robert Roy McGregor. He's a businessman. And he's like, right, the people don't have a lot of food, and we need to sort this out. I'm going to make a rake of money, and I'm going to go to James Graham, the Marquess of Montrose, the local
Marquis.
local bollocks. Huh?
Marquis.
Marquess.
Marquis.
No, there's no, it didn't, the Marquis didn't have them. He lived in a castle.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Montrose and he's like, well, lad, I need £1,000, which we worked out was about roughly £150,000 today, ish, maybe.
Yeah, not bad.
Yes, it's a tidy sum, like.
So keep a
he's
village going for a while.
yeah, I need a lot of money, and what we're going to do with this money, I'm going to go down to the bottom of the hill, and I'm going to buy a shitload of cows. And if I steal a few cows on the way down, sure, ain't that grand as well. And his plan is to buy a load of cows and sell them off or whatever to people like further down south who like eat a lot of beef and are posh or whatever. The English. And
Yes,
Yeah.
eating meat. Fucking posh.
Well, what's
And this
back
is why
then,
they got
okay?
a foot of mouth that
Eating
ruined
beef.
their industry.
Yeah, bastards. But he goes down and he's next thing, right? This young upstart Cunningham is Archibald Cunningham, who's only in town. He's only a blow-in. He's an English prick. He may be related to Montrose. It's not entirely clear, but he's under Montrose's protection. He's been run out of his home somewhere in England because he's a fucking flippant little bollocks, basically.
Yeah, is it Montreux rather than Montrose?
No, it's Montrose.
Okay.
You think it's the Marquis of Montreux?
Yeah.
It has an S and an E in it.
It's French.
No, Montrose. It's a place in Scotland.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. I redact my previous statement.
He's the Marquess
But it is
of
Marquis.
Montrose.
It is Marquis.
Well, it's Marquess in the movie. They call him the Marquess of Anyway, Archibald is neither a Montrose nor a Marquis or a Marquess. He's just a prick with some money. And he rocks in. He's like, listen, I might be super flamboyant, but I'm also a dickhead.
He's so flamboyant.
He's
He's
so
left such
flamboyant.
an impression on me that, like, I honestly, before I was going into this podcast, I was like looking for him, saying, "What was that actor's name in Braveheart? Where is he?" Because he's just such a villain that my brain just retroactively added him to Braveheart.
Yeah, he's such a villain. He's a monster, this fella. And he's
Yeah.
like, well, this is my chance to make a lot of money. So he steals the £1,000 that McGregor has been given by the Montrose. And he's like, ha, fuck you. And McGregor's like, right, well, I'm gonna go and chat to your man about this, and your man's like, I need you to lie and tell the world that this other fella, who's my nemesis, who's the Duke of something or other, the Duke of Argyle, he's like, I need you to tell him he's a Jacobite, which, you know, I'm not going to explain the entire Jacobite rebellion, but basically,
We all know what
you know what a Jacobite
Jacobites
is.
are.
Basically, he's a traitor to the crown, right? And Rob Roy, being the most honourable man in not just Scotland, but probably the entire world, says, no, I don't lie. I might steal cows every once in a while, but I never lie. How dare you? And he fucks off and he becomes an outlaw and saves Scotland.
His oath is his word. His word is his oath, or whatever it was.
Yeah. His word is good, basically. He never breaks his word. And from there on out, he makes a mortal enemy of Cunningham and of Montrose, and shit kind of goes sideways, and his house gets set on fire 17 times, approximately.
Genuinely, a lot.
Might be the same house, might not be. It's not clear.
Honestly, when we start watching Braveheart and you see the young lad going, like, young lad, Mel Gibson, when he's actually an adult, returning to the, young man Mel Gibson. When you see Mel Gibson return and it's like his home farm is just like destroyed, and it's like, Jesus, it caught fire again. What the fuck?
Rob Roy's house is on fire again, and it's 500 years in the past. He's not even alive. But that's Rob Roy, all right? And I'll tell you what, Rob Roy is he's just a better person than William Wallace. He's a nicer man. His wife is still alive, for one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's
two. He has kids.
I don't think that's William Wallace's fault.
He has kids, which therefore, so he's a family man. We know that William Wallace doesn't have any children. I think he might be impotent, actually.
No. He's quite young at the beginning of the movie and makes a point that he wants to start a family.
He never did, though. Never did.
No, because his wife died.
Because he was busy fighting a rebellion or whatever. Rob Roy fought a rebellion.
He started the rebellion.
Rob Roy.
His wife died and he started the rebellion.
Rob Roy fought a rebellion and raised a family. That's all I'm saying.
But he had children before he did the rebellion.
He had kids after it too.
Yeah.
Now, they weren't his kids, mind, but he had them.
Also, kid, let's not go too high on that.
Yeah, okay, he had at least one child. Mid-rebellion. I mean, he's the man's having kids.
We don't know that. We just know she's pregnant.
Even better point, he chose to be
adopt.
honourable and adopt this child that is probably not his.
You know who William Wallace adopts? The entire nation of Scotland.
William Wallace's daddy.
Yes, sure.
He couldn't even get the job done. He couldn't even finish his own rebellion. He got absolutely torn to bits down at the bottom in England there. And look, Robert the Bruce had to do it for him.
Scotland was under control for 20 years, actually 2 years, and they just couldn't take it anymore.
The year before the Battle of Stirling.
Yeah.
We get to that later.
We leave that to the accuracy part.
Look, I mean, what else is out there? Rob Roy is tall, as we've said, handsome. Mel Gibson's, William Wallace's knees are
exactly. Yeah, but again, William Wallace can shoot lasers from his eyes and shoot lightning from his arse, and he's 7 foot tall. Like, that is what the document this movie is based on says.
Rob Roy can row a boat.
William Wallace can speak French.
Rob Roy can speak English.
No, he can't.
William Wallace can't. Rob Roy can speak Gaelic.
William Wallace is a man enough to wear makeup.
That's
not historically accurate.
No, God. I just get when we get to that section. It's just gonna be.
I'm sorry, just keep popping up.
Rob Roy has a bigger dick than William Wallace. Definitely.
We don't know that.
We definitely know that.
No, we don't know how big.
Come on.
We do. Okay. William Wallace fucks 2 women.
Rob Roy fucks his wife 6 times.
Yeah, again, but you know. Okay, one of the women is a princess.
Listen, she's not even that good looking. She's not even that hot. She's not even.
You
One,
know,
yeah,
you,
one
the
of
way
the
you started that sentence made me go for a historic fact again. I went, oh no, I hope
She's
that.
not even a princess.
No,
She's
no,
not,
she is.
She's not
She
even.
is.
Do you know what that is, Dan? I think that whole scene in the movie was just like a fantasy. And William Wallace came back, right? And he said to the boys, he was like, they were like, Jesus, man, do you know this whole rebellion is getting a bit much now? Do you think you better move on from Murren? Like, she's been dead a few years now. Would you ever get back in the saddle? And he went, yeah, well, actually, I had sex with the princess. Just down there in that church.
Yeah,
and you weren't there. You didn't know about it.
He moved on. Fair.
No,
very
I'm saying he
good.
made it up. It's like when you're like, yeah, of course I've had a girlfriend. She's just like I met her in fucking Irish college. You don't know about her.
No,
Right?
the
My
princess
girlfriend
literally wanted
goes to a
to
different
fuck
school.
him
Okay.
because he looked at her that way. So there.
She looked
Look,
at him.
he
that
has
way.
he has a girlfriend in France. Okay.
Yeah, my girlfriend goes to France. All right, you don't know her. Okay.
She goes to a king court in France.
Yeah, she's French. All right, okay.
And she's like the English princess's princess girlfriend wife. Yeah, because I'm Scottish and rebellion.
Yeah, she's about to be the queen of the country that I'm rebelling against. Okay, she's perfect for me.
Yeah.
Okay, then we've spent enough time. Let's move on to section number whatever the hell this next section
Well,
is.
usually we go for villains, but it works for this as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope you've washed your ass this morning. It's about to be kissed by a king.
Think of yourself as the scabbard, and me the sword.
Okay. Yeah, we combine this. We do the villains, but the villains in both of our movies are the fucking English.
Yeah, I mean, you could say there's people within that which are like the avatar of it. Like for mine, it's the king. For yours, it's not really the king. I mean, kind of is, but it's not really.
It's Montrose, and then but to a much larger extent, it's Archie Cunningham, who's just a fucking prick for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
He's just a massive, massive villain.
Yeah.
Now, here's my argument. Well, look, I think it's fair to say I think the most historically accurate thing in Braveheart is the fact that the English are a bunch of pricks, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the Scottish nobles are a bigger villain in Braveheart than the English.
No. The English are manipulating the nobles of Scotland. They know they have control through the nobles of Scotland. That's a big push in the story. So
I think it's Robert the Elder. Robert the Bruce's father is a bigger prick, and he causes William Wallace's whole rebellion to fail.
I like that you're fighting for my point, by the way. Thanks for that.
No, I'm saying that the English, which is what this topic is, are not as big a villain in your movie. They're much worse in mine. Because Archibald Cunningham is like...
King Edward is a pretty awful person. Like,
he's not even... He goes to France for most of the film.
No, he literally goes to war with them and shoots down his own people trying to attack.
Yeah, isn't that such a cliche, isn't it?
No,
Archie
boy,
Cunningham.
Do you know why it's a cliche? Because he fucking made it in Braveheart.
Do you know what? Do you want me to list? Do you know what Archie
he wears
Cunningham
terrible
does?
wigs and smirks. Oh no!
Yeah,
What a villain!
The English
and
in
rapes
this,
people.
The English in this are dressed like Santa's little elves for most of the movie. All right, that alone makes them entirely more terrifying villains. And yeah, Archie Cunningham defiles Rob Roy's wife, burns his home, murders all of his friends, imprisons him, and just ceaselessly mocks him. Also, which is probably the worst.
Yeah. This is when I'm going to have my Mel Gibson moment. But Prince Edward, the son, he's clearly shown to be gay, which is bad in this movie, I think.
We guess, yeah. I mean, the king doesn't like it.
It's just like, oh, this is time wasting. Why are you not being a proper king? You're just fucking boys all the time. What the hell?
The king clearly doesn't.
By the way,
like it.
I'm not homophobic. That's just how the movie portrays it.
Yeah, King Edward just definitely doesn't like it. And his wife is not too pleased about it either. I think. To be honest.
Like the wedding kiss was a bit awkward. They're just like,
Jesus, so awkward. Yeah.
But then the king does throw his son's boyfriend out the window, which makes him a homophobe. And Kazi, in this day and age, with our ideas of political sensitivities and stuff like that, are you really saying a homophobe's not the worst kind of person?
I'm saying that King Edward, while he is a terrible, awful person, is not the main villain of Braveheart.
He kind of is, though.
Robert the Bruce is the main villain of Braveheart.
No. Robert the Bruce is like an emotionally twisted person. He is manipulative. It's all about the older patriarch that's in charge here. It's Robert the Bruce's father. It's the prince's father. And they're the puppet masters. They're both terrible, awful villains.
And only half of them are English.
Yeah,
all of
I'm
my
just
villains
saying-
are English.
Yeah, but
Every
look,
one of them.
yeah,
Archie,
But
actually,
it's-
I would hazard to say, is probably the most English of any person in any movie.
okay,
He's
right,
incredibly
yeah,
English.
okay, fair enough. But okay, so maybe some Scottish people are bastards too. But we have a really cool Irish guy in this movie, so fuck yeah.
That's not a point in favor of this
Yes, it
argument
is.
right
Yes,
now.
it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, your movie has worse villains because the Irish are in it. They're cool. Okay.
Damn right.
I guess we'll never know. Yeah, no. Yeah. Listen.
I mean, I think the villains are pretty awful. I think obviously the rape makes him an even worse villain, like as a viewer. But I wouldn't say like, because I think the betrayal that happens over and over again in this is really fucked, especially because all that Wallace wants is for the people of Scotland to come together and take back their lands and be free. And all these lords who are meant to be on the side of their people just like turn their backs on multiple occasions during battle or betray him. Like it happens so much. Like
Yeah.
that's a pretty awful villainy.
You'd think at some point William Wallace would just be like, maybe I won't ask them to come to this battle. Maybe you guys stay at home. Maybe
See,
me as the current warden of protector of Scotland could just rock around and be like, listen lads, come and fight for me. Don't mind the nobles. They're a shower of pricks. Which just goes to show, in support of my previous argument in the first segment, Rob Roy is a much better hero.
actually,
William.
you find that William Wallace went around and killed all those lords then in weird,
He only killed one of them.
nightmarish horse scenes.
He only killed one of them.
No, he does multiple. It's just not all of them are shown.
Well, the only there's four like named lords that have faces that talk
It
in the
doesn't
movie.
matter
He
if they're
kills one of
named or
them.
not. They all betrayed him, so fuck off.
Well, Robert the Bruce is the real villain. Yeah, you're okay. I win. You're supporting my argument. Let's go to the next section.
No, you're actually supporting my argument because you say Robert Bruce is the worst villain. So there you go. Thank you.
But he's not English. Okay, next section is the accents.
Yes.
You hear me, Alistair McGregor?
Are you in the habit of riding off in the rain with strangers?
I think that clip says it all. Really, there has never been an accent worse in cinematic history than Jessica Lange's attempt at a Scottish accent in Rob
Yeah.
Roy.
We're going to say this. I think even for we playing characters and how we're supporting yours. Woof,
I mean, listen, look. I mean, I think it's well known by many people that Mel Gibson's Scottish accent in Braveheart is not great. Okay,
no, it's not.
But dear sweet suffering Jesus, if you just Google, go on YouTube and type in Jessica Lange in Rob Roy, find any single scene and tell me that her accent does not turn often Jamaican, sometimes Russian.
Yeah.
Because
really
it's
does.
astounding, all right?
Hey, this woman is award-winning.
She
Just not for this movie.
She didn't win anything for Rob Roy. Listen, do you know what the strange thing is, right? She's actually, aside from the accent, she's not bad in Rob Roy.
No, she's great.
Like, she's clearly an incredibly talented actress, all right? We love Jessica Lange. She's actually pretty good in Rob Roy. Can
I say one thing?
Most of the cast.
I just want to say one thing, and I hope this doesn't come off because I think a lot of it's to do with makeup and all that. But she looks hardy in this movie. She looks like a woman that has grown up in the wilds of Scotland. You know,
She
she's
li-
still
yeah,
a very
she
good
looks
looking
like
woman,
she had to go
but
to
she
bed with
looks
Liam Neeson every
hardy.
night.
She's just like, dry skin, furrowed brows. Like, she's been out there, you know.
Yeah, the makeup and costuming are
Yeah.
good. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, her accent, she does not do a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Well,
No, she does not.
at all. Now, everybody else. Well, see, here's the thing. Liam Neeson kind of just doesn't bother.
No, he doesn't. Absolutely. Once in a while, he goes,
Yeah.
dude.
He also like doesn't speak much in the whole movie. Like Rob
No.
Roy is not a talker really. He has a couple of scenes. Like there's the one scene where the scene where he refuses to lie for Montrose, and
Yeah.
Montrose says, you'll be damned to hell, McGregor," and Rob Roy turns to look at him and says, "Oh well, leave the devil some work, Montrose," or something like that. And runs off. He's got some good lines, like
He does,
but he doesn't really
yeah.
say much. He's more
He
like,
definitely does the Qui-Gon thing, where he just talks a few important lines and kind of goes on his way.
that's pretty much
He's stoic.
quite stoic, much like
Yeah.
the Scottish Highlands that he lives in.
Are they stoic?
Sure, yeah, sure.
How are Highlands stoic?
I know what that means. Yeah, they're
Scenic?
like,
Are you mixing up scenic and stoic in your head?
They're large and quiet and
very quiet.
peaceful.
The hills are very quiet.
The hills are not
They
alive
have
with the
eyes,
sound of
but
no music.
no mouth.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but so look, there you are. Rob Roy,
Hey.
the accents in Rob Roy are worse, therefore I win this section as well. I
you
think.
no.
We're arguing
no,
which
that's
movie
not-
has the
no,
worst
No,
accents.
actually, we're trying to beat who's.
Yeah,
has
who
a
has
better movie,
the
actually.
worst accents? And
No,
I
no.
say Rob Roy, so I
No.
win. Okay.
No, I don't think that's how. Also, just I mean, someone who does a great accent in both these movies, and I don't know why we haven't mentioned it. Brian Cox. Brian Cox is in both movies.
Brian Cox is
not
in
just
both
yours.
movies. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
he
mentioned
is,
Brian Cox, but he did mention he's in both movies, and he's Brian Cox. I mean, in Braveheart, he's just like missing an eye. He's an uncle. He's just like, your father, be strong, and he disappears. That's the last time we see him. We only see him for
Yeah.
one scene, and he goes off
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets stabbed to death and drowned
by elephants.
in Rob Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good old Brian. We like Brian Cox. He's a good guy. Okay,
Yes, he
now can we do historical accuracy?
Sure, if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just gonna open up my document.
After the beheading, William Wallace's body was torn to pieces.
May I present Archibald Cunningham, His Grace the Duke of Argyll?
Shall I start? Should I start? Because I feel like you have a lot more going on for this section, really.
What makes you think that?
Well, I tell you what gave it away for me first. Well, the first inkling was when I watched Braveheart. That was the first clue that maybe this isn't historical accuracy. That gave that, I kind of went, Secondly was, I was saying this to you previously, just on the Wikipedia pages for both movies. Rob Roy has a section titled Historical Accuracy. Braveheart has a full section of its Wikipedia page entitled Historical Inaccuracies, and that section has 7 subsections. Okay.
You know, they missed a trick there. They should have done a page of historical accuracies instead.
They should have, yeah. It would have been a pretty short. They got one thing right, and that thing, there was a man, and his name was William Wallace. Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that,
We think he's a man anyway.
he could have been. Who knows? Could have been anything, really. I mean, the nickname Braveheart was a nickname of Robert the Bruce, not a nickname of William Wallace. They couldn't even get that right. I asked you this when we were watching it, and if we've any Scottish listeners out there, how do you guys feel about Braveheart? Like, it feels to me, we're looking at it I'm mostly looking at it just as a movie, all right? Like, it's not like the kind of thing that annoys me, but I know how annoyed I get, for instance, when, like, Supernatural did the Sam Hain thing. They couldn't be arsed looking up how to pronounce Samhain, and they have all, the devil and Sam, and they take, like, Irish historical folklore and culture and just completely butcher it. Is that how Scottish people see Braveheart? Because they really fucked it up.
I think it's like a split from those who actually know the history who would be like, "Oh, this is fucking awful. It's so disrespectful," to the people who don't, going, "Hi, yeah, Scotland fight England. Fuck you, bastards."
Yeah, probably. Well, okay. Do you have a list, Dan? You want to go
I
through?
do have a list.
You have a list of
yes.
the
do
wrong
you
shit.
do first then?
and-
Yes.
Okay. Well, mine is actually pretty quick because I can go through.
Okay.
It. All right. I'll give you the real history of Rob Roy. He was a cattle rustler. That's a fact. He was of the McGregor clan. He was an outlaw. He did borrow money off of Montrose, although at the time that this movie is set, the Marquess of Montrose had been promoted to the Duke of Montrose, so he should have been a duke. Archibald Cunningham is not a real person. They made him up for the movie. As far as anybody knows, there was no person called Archibald Cunningham involved in this story. Rob Roy did borrow money. The cows did go missing, but it was a ploy on Rob Roy's part to steal money from the wealthy. So he took their money, and then he divided all of his titles and his wealth amongst like friends and family and gave them a bunch of money. And then come the spring, he was like, well, there's no cows. Whoops. And kind of took their money and they hated him. The McGregor clan were outlawed in Scotland in like the early 1600s by the king for... Not 100% sure. I think there was an incident. There was like a battle somewhere, and there was young boys kind of went to watch the battle or something, and the McGregors killed them. And the king was like, well, those guys are pricks, and they were outlawed, and McGregors were literally, like, it was illegal to be a McGregor. They were, like, hunted.
I wish it was now.
Oh, yeah, no. All the men were put to death. All of the women were sent away to North America to be slaves in England's new colonies in North America and what would then soon be the United States. So it was illegal to be a McGregor, and a lot of them had to like change their names and move in with other clans and stuff. And then a lot of them didn't. They just lived as outlaws. And Rob Roy McGregor was one of them. Rob Roy in real life was a Jacobite. He fought in the Second Jacobite Rebellion against England. He fought for the Stuarts, I believe, and eventually they lost that. And he died of they think he took a wound in a fight. Potentially, this is what the movie was trying to do with him grabbing the sword thing. It was a duel or something with some fella that he didn't like, and he got cut. He won the duel, but the cut got like sepsis or whatever, or gangrenous, and he died, and he's buried in Scotland. There you go. That's Rob Roy in a nutshell, as much as I could really learn, because I'll be honest, I didn't have time to look up the entire Hitler history of Scotland. I apologize. Now,
I thought you were to say Hitler thing, and I was like, wow, did I miss something?
I didn't have time to look up the entire Hitler of Scotland, which I wish I had.
The Hitler of Scotland.
So
Rob Roy. Now, there's some historical inaccuracies.
Yeah.
But, here's the thing I'd ask you on, and I think I've leaned on this already. What shapes a society? Is it the factual historic dates
Yes.
of events? Or is it the thing that people believe, know, and truly feel in their heart?
Yeah, but nobody believed these things about William Wallace.
They do now.
They fucking don't. There's entire videos
to be fair,
dedicated to
most
saying
of what
this
we
isn't
know
true.
about William Wallace has been lost to time now because so much bullshit has been made up, not just for this movie, but in the past as well.
Because the real William Wallace didn't really do a whole lot.
He did some things, but look, but all I'm saying, look, history in England will say that he was a liar because those who hang people write the history. So, are you saying you're siding with the English here?
Do you want to? Who do you want to dedicate that quote to? Do you want to give him props?
To the movie, which is factually, mythologically important.
Can those things go together?
Yes.
The mythology of William Wallace created by the movie, it gets that right. Yeah, sure.
It's the spirit of William Wallace.
No, yeah, I agree with you.
As we perceive him.
The facts that this movie made up about William Wallace, it gets those right. I'll give you that.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And that means it's important.
Now, what did it get wrong?
Okay. So, remember Princess Isabel?
Yes.
She was a real person, but she was also 9 and living in France.
Sure. Yep. Of course she was. Yep.
England did not occupy Scotland for decades. It was about 2 years after Edward was brought in as a mediator, and there was a mediator between two lads who wanted to be Scottish king, and Edward was called in as the English king, saying, "Hey, could you sort this out, lad?" And they went.
So you're saying the whole, think of it, we could live to see something we've never seen our whole lives. A free Scotland was just nonsense, really.
Yeah.
I mean, William Wallace had never... They saw it when they were kids, didn't they? That was a free Scotland.
I mean, like 2 years before they weren't kids. They were just like a few Christmases ago.
He was
they were just sitting around like fire saying, you know what? Remember when Scotland was
we were free?
How Scotland's lovely and free.
Well, William Wallace was busy. He was in Rome at that time or whatever the fuck he was doing.
I'll get to that. But yeah, Edward was brought in as a mediator between two kings, and one king was brought up. People didn't like him. He got taken out. And then Edward basically instilled a few lords to be basically in charge of it. And yeah, Edward kind of invaded a year later, just took over the place. So yeah. So the big thing about William Wallace, he's almost like a myth, like Robin. Oh, I should say, before any of this, I got this mostly from a YouTube channel called History Buffs. Owen has watched History Buffs as well. It's an excellent channel. Lots of historical looks into movies and that kind of stuff. Really worth watching. And honestly, I got most of my stuff from there. I'm not a historian, and I don't want to go through Wikipedia and misunderstanding things. So I just basically took information.
Do your
from
own
there.
research, people.
Sheeple. The Welsh aren't involved. Sorry, Wales. We love you dearly, as you love your sheep. Anyway, so he's kind of like almost seen as this kind of a myth. He's almost like Robin Hood-esque, really. But there was this poem written about him called The Wallace by a guy called Blind Harry, and romanticized William Wallace as being a giant, like he's 7 foot tall, and it was literally written for propaganda reasons. And that actually, the movie Braveheart does reference that. It's like, William Wallace is 7 foot tall. One of the lads in the army says, "Yeah, I can shoot lightning on my fucking arse." Like, that's the reference to. It's like, yeah, we know these things exist, but this movie was heavily inspired by this poem, which is weird.
Didn't get much of the poem right either, though, did it?
No. Also, we kind of get the impression that Wallace grew up in the country and he was a commoner like everyone else. Yeah, he was actually like the son of a minor nobleman. He was also the younger son. So it's most likely that Edward went off abroad to become a mercenary. And if you look at his crest, it seems to imply that he was an archer. So like that's what a lot of younger sons did, because they wouldn't inherit their father's estate. It'd be the older brother. So they usually go to war, they go off to the priesthood. Like a year before he starts his rebel rousing, he robbed a keg of beer with another lad. Just because your lad.
We've all been there.
Yeah, your lad stole cattle. This lad stole beer.
Just have a.
I mean, it sounds like they'd be great crack to like go to their houses
on a Saturday night. William Wallace and Rob Roy. Cows and beer.
Prima nocta, which is the local lord or king being able to have sex with a bride, didn't really exist, and if it existed, it was never put into action. Wallace didn't have a wife. A group actually paid the lad, Blind Harry, to add her into the second edition of that poem. So she didn't even exist in the original edition. This is one of the popular ones. The ones that we know from like posters, and the iconic idea of Braveheart is the blue faces stuff.
Yep.
I mean, completely out of date. This belonged to the Picts like 1,000 years before.
Yep.
So that was completely inaccurate, unless William was really into tradition and archaeology. But yeah, so that's very much not true. And this is one thing I was thinking about when I was watching your movie and my movie, because I know that the kilts are still a relatively newish thing. They're only about 300 odd years old that are worn widely in Scotland. So yeah, they wouldn't wear kilts till the 17th century. So again, very much not accurate.
Yep.
They actually wore mostly the same clothes. They mostly wore the same clothing as the English. And also, like, when we saw farmers going to war and people having sticks in their arm, like, that was all inaccurate. Like, they were properly dressed. They had proper equipment. It wasn't just one of those things where there was a farmer and he has a pitchfork and says, go on, you can go to war now. That wasn't a real thing. The Battle of Stirling, is one of the more popular battles in the movies. It's the first one. It's where we first hear the line, "They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom," which is still weird to me. I always think it's like the second battle, like near the end, but it's not at all. But it was actually, the way they won is that there was about 10,000 English people, soldiers, across the river, and there were 6,000 Scottish lads, and they hid in the forest, and it's called the bridge battle, the Stirling Bridge battle, because there was a bridge that could take about 2 people at a time over it, like widthwise. So the Scottish hid in the forest until there were about 3,000 of the army over it, and they just fucking decimated them. The knights weren't able to move around because they were in a tight area and there's mud on the ground and that kind of stuff. They couldn't maneuver at all. The one that is obviously never been a real thing, but damn, I wish it was. My heart bleeds at the sadness of this not being true. There was never a moment in history when the 2 armies ran towards each other, stopped, started shaking hands because they were Irish and Scottish.
No.
I know. It breaks me. It genuinely makes me upset. I knew, yeah.
I feel like if it never happened, that's only because there was never a chance for it to happen. All right.
Yeah.
Because I think it would happen. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Look, so this is what I mean. Like, this is such an important moment where the myth is more important than the fact. You know, that spiritually connects us to the Scottish, even though, like, as much as like Scotland and Ireland now we're friendly and there's a lot of historical connections with each other. Throughout history, Scotland and Ireland weren't the best friends either. Let's be real about it, you know?
We didn't need Braveheart to connect us to Scotland, really, either, did we?
Just needed hating the English, that's all.
That's all. That ties everybody together, okay?
So Robert the Bruce never directly betrayed William Wallace, though he's famous for just betraying people a lot, historically speaking. Wallace never went on a one-man mission killing a bunch of nobles. What he actually did was he went back to France to ask King Philip to support the rebellion in Scotland for a few years. He returned to Scotland then without getting any help from Philip and gets brought to London. And this is kind of where it gets more brutal, actually, in the story, where he gets dragged naked through the streets. His testicles get cut off. He gets disemboweled. He gets stretched. And he gets cut into 4 pieces. And he, believe it or not, he did not shout, "Freedom!"
He didn't do that in the movie either. We've discussed this. He was
right, okay, yeah, he losing it. Yeah, but so like I said, the movie is more spiritually to our cultural zeitgeist than the historical facts, and I think that makes it beautiful.
I think you're lying to yourself, Dan. You of all people, you are a complete pedant when it comes to accuracy and things. You will break out of watching a movie if it gets a single fact wrong. You go, well, no, I can't handle this.
Sure. But what fits more into the Scottish and, by extension, Irish zeitgeist?
Probably
the actual history of this, or
the actual history.
The Braveheart movie.
All they had to do was make the movie about Robert the Bruce and not about William Wallace. He did a lot of the things that the movie says William Wallace does, including invading England and winning independence for Scotland.
The only thing about Robert the Bruce, though, is that he backstabbed a lot of people and turned on a lot of people throughout it. He's not a shimmering, gleaming
I mean,
hero either.
He did win independence for Scotland, though. He won.
Yeah.
So that's a big
For
thing. He became king of
him,
Scotland. He
like,
then also
yeah.
invaded Ireland, technically.
Remember, he became a king. We should be clear that, monarchies, not the best thing.
He also invaded Ireland and caused us a little famine.
Burnt English and Irish homes alike without caring.
He came over to fight the English, and it went kind of well for a little while. And people up north were like, "Yeah," and everybody down in the south of Ireland was like,
"Oh no,
what's the difference? why should we not be ruled by English and be ruled by the Scottish? Come on now, we don't want either of those things." And then his army couldn't get food, so they just started killing Irish people to take their food. And they got run out of the country eventually because there was a famine. And Irish people said, the King of Tyrone at the time said that the English defeating the Scottish in Ireland was one of the best things to ever happen in the history of Ireland. So there you go.
Which is why
movie.
Like Robert the Bruce learning his lesson by the end of Braveheart about being honourable and noble, and that Robert the Bruce definitely did not invade Ireland and fucked it up. So it's more important.
We should watch the sequel sometime.
We
should watch
if we can get it.
Robert the Bruce
stream
sequel.
out there.
I'm sure, probably out there somewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
They also did that. Didn't Netflix make a movie? Was it Outlaw King? Was that about Robert the Bruce? Chris Pine is in it. Plays a king. I think I could be totally wrong.
Chris Pine, the most Swedish Norwegian looking motherfucker, is like Scottish in it or Irish.
I think so. I think he's Irish.
That's
not Irish. I think he's supposed to be Robert the Bruce. I'm not sure.
Oh wow!
I could be totally wrong.
I mean,
though.
look, don't get me wrong. I like Chris Pine, but he is not Scottish looking at all.
No, he's not. But it's whatever. Well, there you go. Rob Roy is marginally, I would say, more historically accurate than Braveheart.
Yes, but again,
gets more
is
things
it historically important.
Yeah,
No.
definitely, man. Yeah. If anything,
No.
Rob Roy teaches us and the world that the English are a bunch of idiots who are pricks and dress like fools.
Actually, I think you'll find that Braveheart teaches us that the English are not only evil in history, but also manipulative, using local lords against their own people, which is a more sinister kind.
And they won. They win in Braveheart.
They do win in Braveheart.
Rob Roy lives also. Rob Roy survives his movie.
Yeah.
William Wallace.
But does he get his testicles cut off?
He dies a fool.
I win.
William Wallace dies a fool and a rube, used by his own people.
Yeah, again, which makes it a more interesting movie than this whole, hero, great. Oh, everything goes well for the hero. No, sometimes it goes bad, Owen.
Yeah,
sometimes
it goes bad. It goes bad for Rob Roy. He gets a sword in his hand.
Yeah, and then he fucking rope swings off a bridge.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's cool as fuck too. Don't deny it.
Yeah. But does he go on a one-man mission throughout Scotland killing lords? No.
He does. The movie clearly says he wages a guerrilla war against the English and has been killing them all and stealing their cows.
Oh, I should make just one more thing. William Wallace got nowhere close to York. Just to make that clear, he was hundreds of miles away from that. He just invaded small English towns across the border.
Yep. You know who did get close to York? Robert the Bruce.
Did he?
Robert, yeah, he won independence for Scotland, and he all along the border he raided England like countless times.
Yeah.
He fucked the whole place up. He was cool.
Did he not?
No, he wasn't.
Did he not become lord of anything? Did he just like, okay, I got independence now. I'm gonna fuck back to my farm.
Robert the Bruce.
Yeah.
He was king of Scotland.
No, not sorry, Robert the Bruce. Sorry, mistaken. I thought you were talking about your Rob Roy.
Oh, Rob Roy. He went back. Well, he was. He was still an illegal. He was still an outlaw. Like at the end of the whole thing.
No, he wasn't.
It's not the end of his story.
No, didn't they make like a deal and stuff at the end of
his death, the money he owed Montrose was cleared, so he was cleared of his debt. But he's still. The McGregor clan are still illegal people.
Oh yeah,
in
but
Scotland.
not in the movie. That doesn't get mentioned.
No,
I like to imagine him coming back to his kids and going, "Hey lads, you're all illegal now, 'cause you're McGregors."
Yeah, I normally don't tell you this till you turn 16 and become a man, but It's time you should know.
But your half sibling that your mother was raped by an evil English bastard, they're not a McGregor, so they'll be all right. Anyway.
Yeah. Moving on. Isn't Loch Lomond lovely? Well, there you have it, ladies and gentle germs. We've laid out our arguments. Let's move into some final thoughts.
Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
This is the fun section where our final thoughts. Well, final thoughts are up to you guys. You tell us which movie.
Well, look, Cosy, just be quiet. Let them speak.
Oh, you can't say that.
No. Come on, no, that's all right.
You can't say that on a podcast. Oh no, I mean
That's a good one.
that's actually fair.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, it's true as well, is what makes it good. Oh well, thanks,
I know
guys.
it's actually involved.
I had heard about that actually. I just didn't want to bring it up because.
All right. Well, good idea. Yeah.
Well, thanks for your input, guys. No, but seriously, tell us, what do you guys think? Rob Roy or Braveheart? I find it. I will be astounded if there is even one person out there who genuinely thinks who prefers Rob Roy to Braveheart.
Yeah. I would say I enjoyed both movies, and I think I just think Braveheart's more entertaining. Rob Roy's a good movie, but Braveheart's more entertaining. I think Rob Roy is. You were saying it feels like a stage play.
Yeah, it's quite Shakespearean to me.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. I think the script in Rob Roy is very good. But it's not like, I wouldn't go into Rob Roy expecting just another Braveheart 2.0.
Oh god, no! It's really weird that people compare the two, because really the only thing they have is like two Scottish lads go on a rebellion.
Historical things.
Yeah.
Set in Scotland.
And that's it.
Yeah, so there you go. We have, Jesus, man, it's nearly Christmas. Hey, thing I forgot to mention at the top, but now we're still here.
We should mention it. Yeah, actually, go on.
Happy anniversary to us.
Yes, that's it.
We did it.
Owen and I have been married for 5 years now.
It's been longer than that, I think. we've been doing this show. We released our first episode. We're a little bit late because that's how the episode release schedule worked out. I think our first proper episode on Space Station 76 came out, I think, like the 4th of December. Yeah, it was a real weird choice to start on.
No, to be fair, we started with Artemis Fowl, which was the most accurate one to start on, but it wasn't a good listen, lads. It wasn't.
I mean, bits of it, it was just kind of...
Hey, how about we'll release as a Christmas present on Christmas?
If
they can listen to...
I still have it.
If this podcast gets what? Do you want retweets or likes, or what do you want to do?
If we get 6,000 likes on Facebook,
let's be a little bit further down there.
If we get 30
likes.
30 likes.
20. Which one now?
30. If we get 30 likes on Facebook.
Okay.
Can we do 30? We've never had 10
How
before.
about we get 30 interactions across our social media platforms, wherever they may be on our social media?
Different people.
Different.
Not just
people.
one person commenting 30 times.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, there you go. I'll do it. Okay, I'll edit it.
No, do. Any 30 interactions. That happens to the algorithm.
I'll do it. Okay, I'll edit Artemis Fowl. And if we get that, I will release it as a Christmas present to everyone.
For some reason, we really bully a certain actor in that movie in really nasty, horrible ways.
Yeah. God bless him. Poor guy. But
gal.
Top of the morning.
Oh, there you go. And you'll learn where that comes from when you hear the episode. But that'll be our Christmas present to everyone. We do have one more episode left. We're doing one more episode before Christmas. And then we're kind of done. That's it.
What are you doing?
That's it. The show is over then.
No. What are we doing for the next episode?
Oh, sorry. We're doing Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah, this is an anime movie.
Yeah. Dan tells me it's a Christmas movie.
Yes.
So
it is.
There you go.
Yeah, and we're doing The Matrix after Christmas sometime as well. Matrix 4.
You've given it away, haven't you?
Yeah, well, look, I'm looking
that'll
forward to
be
it.
yeah. We're gonna do that. We plan on doing The Matrix. We also planned on doing Spider-Man: No Way Home, but now we're not anymore. Well, we'll probably talk about it before Christmas at some point.
We probably will, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. So we'll see you guys for the next one, which is due to be released right before Christmas, the week after next. And you can all have a splendid Christmas break with your family, gathered around the fire, drinking whiskey, listening.
Or any
to
festivals
Sure It'll Be Grand.
or friendships you celebrate on those.
Whatever denomination you adhere to.
Or non-denominated.
Whatever you-
I'll not say anything.
Just
if you're sound and you're a bit of crack
it's,
over this
I would say,
winter time.
I would say the whiskey is important because it makes us easier to listen to.
Makes us harder to talk as well if we drink it.
Bye. Anyway, thanks guys. We will see you all in the next cartoon.
Asherlo.